What up, Raffleaders? Welcome back to my channel. We are back at Eckles. This is Eckles on the east bank of Demerara. That's Eckles looking north along the public road. Right, that road goes towards Georgetown, and this is looking south towards the Mary Airport and points further south. And so what we want to do today is to take a further look. It's been 2 weeks since we were in this neck of the woods. Take a further look at the developments here at the Demerara River Bridge. We're going to get close. We're going to review some of the discoveries, the developments we saw last week or 2 weeks ago, and we're going to give you an update on what's happening with the largest development project, infrastructure development project here in Guyana. So let's go. It's Saturday morning in Guyana, Saturday the 12th of July 2025, and we are back in this neck of the woods on the east bank public road to take a look at the Demerara Harbour Bridge, the new Demerara Harbour Bridge. As you can see, since the last time we've been here, there's some changes. The gaps have gotten narrower, but the bridge has not yet been completed. So let's see what happened since the last time we've been here. It seems as if this gap has now been reduced to one pillar, so just one pillar between these two ends of the bridge, and the second gap is also narrower. That is the gap between the two high span sections of the bridge. You can see that gap is also narrower, and then there's a third gap at the other end of the high span section there. That gap is also quite narrow. So what we want to do today is to examine the changes in the last 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we've been here, and the ramp section of the bridge continues to be expanded. Last time we were here, we actually went up under the neighborhood, almost underneath the bridge, and we want to go around again and see how close we can get and what we can see. Where we are is in the overpass at Eckles. It's a cloudy morning. It's still raining in Georgetown. We're still in the middle of a rainy season. It's usually May and June, but now we're in July and it's still raining every day, usually every morning, which messes up my morning run. I usually leave the house at 5 o'clock, run a few miles and then start taking videos. But now I'm usually delayed because it's raining. What we're doing right now is looking north, right? We're looking north on the East Bank Public Road. The arch, like we said in the last video, that arch is at Agricola, which marks the beginning. That's where the city, the boundaries of the city is located. Once you pass that arch, you're in Georgetown. And this is the same East Bank Public Road, now looking south. Good morning. Looking south towards Mary Airport and towards Linden and so on. So somebody asked, said that they can't really tell the difference between the East Bank and the West Bank of the Demerara River. The East Bank is the side on which Georgetown is located. Right, the East Bank side is the side on which Georgetown is located. The West Bank side is Breedenhoop, and you know all the cities and all of the towns and villages that you know from the West Coast, Lagrange and so on. Canal number 1, Canal number 2. Anyway, so this is where we are. We're gonna take a walk, get closer to the bridge, and show you what it looks like. That is the overpass at Eckles. So let's get closer. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to walk all the way to Peters Hall from Eckles. That's the direction in which we're headed. We're going to get right up onto the bridge and show you how much progress has been made since the last time we were in this neck of the woods. So let's go. Let's take a look at what is happening here in the fastest growing country in the world, Guyana. It's a couple of horses, mom and her baby. Reminds you that we're still in a agrarian society. Lots of creatures, lots of livestock everywhere you go. Thankfully these horses are not on the streets. But let's get close and see what's happening with the bridge. An ambulance early on Saturday morning. That's where we were. We were on this overpass. So that is where we started out. Started out on that overpass at Eckles. We've walked a little way now towards the bridge. And you can see straight ahead, that is the bridge from Eckles. As you get closer, now what I don't know if you can see it in this. No, you probably can't. But it seems as if more and more of the cables are being attached to the bridge, and that is to the high span section and the pillars. And the pillars seem to be taller than they would look the last time we were here. At least that is my observation. So it seems as if those pillars are still growing, in my opinion. Right, those pillars have probably not reached their maximum height. I don't know why my camera won't focus this morning. Maybe the lens is not clean, or maybe I need to upgrade to 4K. But yeah, this is what it looks like as you approach the bridge. It's always quite massive and impressive. Right, it's massive, it's impressive as you get closer to the bridge. So where we are, we're approaching the Bagotstown intersection between the road to Bagotstown from Heroes Highway to Bagotstown and this East Bank Public Road. A lot of police activity, it seems, this morning. So this is Bagotstown. As you get closer, the bridge disappears behind the roofs of the buildings and the trees. So you see, as you get closer, can't really see. Okay, so in this view you can see the cables. I think you can see the cables a little more clearly. And look, on this one, I think you can see the cables more clearly. So it seems as if more and more cables are being attached. And in my opinion, this part of the bridge, the towers, those pillars, still seem to be getting taller. But I could be wrong. But it seems as if it's still growing. But as you get closer, what happens is you get so close to the buildings that you can't see the bridge over the roofs of the buildings. Where we are right now, Eckles Assembly of God. This is a landmark in this region, this area. Eckles Assembly of God. And I think there's a cemetery over there. We usually go down that street to see the west end of the bridge across the river, because that's the closest you can get to the river on this side, since the Demerara Harbour Bridge is close to pedestrian traffic. So I haven't really been able to walk over the Demerara Harbour Bridge to see the bridge, to see the new bridge. So the only other way to do it would be probably to get a drone up over the rooftops. But here we are, back down this intersection where we started. Morning. Yeah, man. So what is happening is this intersection is now quite busy. This road, this is a road to Heroes Highway. We actually were looking at that road even before its construction was completed, and now it is completed. That's Eckles. We just left Eckles. Yeah, now that the construction of this road is completed, we're looking to see its performance. Remember, there are a number of intersections we said on this road which could use turning lanes, and there are no turning lanes. But let's see if we can get closer to the bridge from where we are. See? That's the overpass at Peters Hall. And get up close to that and see how much of it the work has been completed since the last time we were here. But that's all you can see now that you've gotten within a quarter of a mile of the bridge. So let's go. So guys, now we're on another overpass. This is the overpass at Peters Hall. Right, similar design. What you see above me as it appears to be a roof is actually solar panels. So they're long, there's a long chain of solar panels on the roof. That's what you can see above me. And this is the overpass. Behind this wall, apparently, this is the big sign advertising, I think, the PPP. And behind me, that's the East Bank Public Road looking south towards the bridge, the new Demerara River Bridge. And on the other side, behind me, that's the East Bank Public Road looking north. It's starting to rain, which is one of the reasons why I came up onto this overpass, so that I can take a little shelter from the rain underneath these solar panels. But let me turn the camera around and show you what's happening to the bridge from this location. This is what the bridge looks like from this location. Get closer, closer. Yeah, this is what the bridge. Now the reason why it looks misty is because it's raining, but this is what the bridge looks like, and that's the gap. Right, that's the gap between the high span section and the ramp at this point. Again, it's cloudy, so it's raining, so that's why it looks a little cloudy through this. And that is the ramp. The ramp is about half a mile long. One of the longest ramps of any bridge, I believe. But that is what the ramp looks like from the overpass here at Peters Hall. Right, that's what the ramp looks like from the overpass. And of course, that is the heart of the bridge. It passes over the East Bank Public Road, the first genuine overpass here in Guyana. But that's where we are, guys. This is where we are. We're gonna get a little closer. We're gonna go under the bridge. But for now, this is what it looks like from the pedestrian overpass here at Peters Hall. Of course, the other end of this overpass, you should be able to see the old Demerara Bridge. So that's the old Demerara Bridge. The traffic lined up across over the old Demerara Bridge. Right, that's the old Demerara Bridge traffic. And I think you can see a little more of the new bridge. Right, that's what you can see of the new bridge from this location. But it's raining, and we're going to continue as we get closer when it rains. Okay guys, it stopped raining and we can get closer to the bridge. So we're walking from the overpass. Right, that's the overpass we were standing on at Peters Hall. That's the Peters Hall intersection. That's the landmark building at that junction. This is the temple, the Hindu temple at Peters Hall. And that's the masjid, the mosque. And this is Republic Park. Still haven't looked at Republic Park. We're gonna get there. But yeah, this is the bridge. This is what the bridge looks like on the 12th day of July 2025. And that's the longest ramp of any bridge in the Caribbean, or maybe even South America. Straight ahead. These are my regular fruit vendors here on East Bank Public Road. I think Bishop Edgehill wants to remove these guys from selling along the streets. I don't know if they're gonna get these guys to move because it's their livelihood. But yeah, morning. This is what the bridge looks like as we go past it on a Saturday morning. Morning! As we go past it on a Saturday morning. Now that is the gap. It's now narrow, so narrow that there's only one pair of pillars between the high span section. I think now you should be able to see the cables. All right, those are the cables attaching the high span section to the pillars of the bridge. It's always quite impressive. It's transformed this neck of the woods. Somebody was suggesting when we went through those neighborhoods, that is the Peters Hall neighborhood, the last time we were here 2 weeks ago, that those buildings, those residential neighborhoods should be replaced by high-rise condominiums and hotels along the riverbank. And I kind of agree, actually. I think that is prime waterfront property, and it's probably going to happen in future that some developer will come and offer those people high price for their property and then use it to build high-rise condos and hotels along the riverbank because it's waterfront property. But this is what it looks like here on the Saturday morning. What has come up in the discussion over the last week is the safety of these barriers at the edge of the bridge, because if a vehicle goes over the side of this bridge, we've seen ridiculous accidents in the last couple of weeks or so, but if a vehicle goes over the side of the bridge, it will land on some of the homes underneath the bridge, down below the bridge, right? Because speeding is a problem, accidents are a problem, and at this rate, we can literally expect that some reckless driver will go over the side of this bridge and end up in the river or landing on somebody's house, because such is the recklessness in Guyana. But this is what the bridge looks like here on Saturday morning. You can see it feels as if it's been here for decades, a permanent structure. So that's looking east, right east along the bridge. And as we go under the bridge, that's looking west. You can see the curve of the bridge. You can see the high span section almost connected to the ramp. Right, the high span section almost connected to the ramp. And you can see underneath the bridge, right underneath the bridge, as you cross into Providence. That's the Ramada Inn, and of course, the Ramada Hotel. That's looking east under the bridge. Like I said, the bridge feels like a permanent structure. Here you can see the water falling down from the bridge. And that's looking north towards Georgetown, looking under the bridge. And this is looking west. You can see the curve. The bridge is curving away from us now as we enter Providence. All right, we're entering the village of Providence, and the bridge is almost complete. It looks a lot more like this poster. All right, it looks like the poster, like the bridge in the poster. But yes, guys, this is where we are on the 12th of July, the middle of July. So it's like 6 weeks towards, a little more than 6 weeks to September 1st, which is the election day in Guyana. And of course, this is one of the government's political projects that they've staked their re-election campaign on, the completion of this bridge before election day. I still don't think it's going to be happening, but you tell me, guys, what you think. Do you think this bridge will be completed before election day? We looked at the ramps. Probably going to look at the other end, the east end of the ramp and the approach road tomorrow. But for now, this is what the bridge looks like here at Peters Hall, here at Providence. This is the Ramada Georgetown Princess, the Princess Casino, Ramada Hotel and Princess Casino, here in Providence. All right, that's the Ramada Hotel and Princess Casino. I keep putting off doing a review of Ramada and Princess, but here is the version or the view of the bridge from Ramada and Princess. As you can see, there's still a small gap that has to be filled. My guess is the next time we return, 2 weeks from now, that gap will be completed. So by the end of July, next time we come back, we're probably going to look and see if this gap is filled. It's been taking about a week to fill each span, but this hookup of the ramp to the bridge, to the high span section of the bridge, is progressing very carefully, very deliberately, and very slowly, and will probably take longer than any of the other sections of construction. That's interesting. This blue and black and blue and white flag is another political party in Guyana. That political party is the new Wind Party. Kind of interesting what's happening. This one that looks like a German flag, that is the political party of the current government, the PVP. So the Wind political party, which is led by the Mohammeds. The Mohammeds used to be close supporters of the PPP. Now they've broken away and formed their own political party. So interesting times in Guyana. We'll talk about that in another video. But for now, this is what the bridge looks like, right? This is what the new Demerara River Bridge looks like on Saturday morning. You can see the cables have been established. You can see both pillars, both pairs of pillars on the in the high span section in this view. And you can see the gap. That's the gap between the two high span sections. It's narrow and has to be filled. This is the gap between the high span section and the ramp. That also is narrow and has to be filled. And so my guess is that by the time we come back here in 2 weeks, they will have completed the connecting the two bridges. But this is what's happening here in Guyana. It's election season, it's silly season, a lot of political shenanigans. I have deliberately not commented on it because, like I said, this is not a political channel. But I think it's important for me to give you my assessment of the politics in Guyana because it impacts all the infrastructure that's being built and the future development of the country. So I'm going to give you a review of the politics in another video from my studio. But for now, this is what it looks like, guys, on Saturday morning here in Georgetown, Guyana. The new Demerara River Bridge, seen from Providence. That's the high span section. And this is the ramp. So guys, that's what's up. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing economy in the world, Guyana. And straight ahead, that is the Amazonia Mall. Behind it is the new Hyatt Hotel. We'll see if we can take a look at those before we leave this neck of the woods. Later! You can see them building, what is it, a wider sidewalk here. Seems as if they're going to be widening the sidewalk next to this property. And we're going to take a look at that in future. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing economy in the world, Guyana. Later!